Alright guys, so I thought I would take just a few minutes to sit down and talk to you about chicken coops and the type of space you want to provide for your chickens. They're going to probably come up and say hi to us as I talk. So let's start off by talking about the different types of chicken coops you can build or purchase. Now, it's up to you how you want to go about acquiring your chicken coop, whether you want to purchase one or if you want to build one yourself. So that's completely up to you if you want to buy one or if you want to build one. Also keep in mind if you are capable of building one or not. So keep that in mind first. So we want to talk about first the different types of chicken coops. Now you can go on Google, you can search chicken coop mock-ups, chicken coop designs, and you can find a wide range of chicken coop designs that you can then use either for inspiration or you can just copy them completely. It's up to you. Or you can go the route of purchasing a chicken coop from a store. So maybe like a Tractor Supply or one of your farm supply stores will usually carry things like that, or they'll be able to order them in for you. So we have small chicken coops. You know, if you're just raising chickens in your backyard, then a small store-bought chicken coop would be great for you because you probably won't have a huge predator load. You probably don't have a lot of chickens and you probably don't have a huge enough space. So buying a small chicken coop from the store is probably something that's going to benefit you if you have a smaller space or if you're living somewhere close to town or like an urban area. Now, if you're going the route of building a chicken coop, you're going to want to find a great detailed chicken coop design and something that you'll be able to follow. Now think about the amount of space you have and also think about the amount of chickens you're going to put in the coop. So what I like about having a chicken coop instead of a chicken tractor is that I don't have to move it, I don't have to do anything during the day, and that saves me a lot of time and a lot of physical effort to do that. Once a month I'll come out here and the entire family will just clean the chicken coop out, put down fresh hay, and they're good to go for another 4 weeks. Occasionally we'll need to clean out the nest boxes a little bit more because they're in there laying all the time. So that's pretty much all we have to do. And you make sure that the coop is nice and secure. That's why we built it basically how you would build a house, with a door and a window and a small little chicken door. We keep that chicken door closed in the winter time. So there's really not that much effort and physical labor that I would have to put in with a chicken tractor or something mobile with an actual chicken coop. Secondly, a real chicken coop is by far a lot safer, especially if you're in an area with a lot of predators. You really want to think about making that chicken coop as secure as possible. That is probably my number one thing I tell people when they decide to get chickens. Number one, everything loves chickens, not just you. They're gonna eat your chickens. And number two, there are predators everywhere. Think about predators, not just for walking and sneaking in, not just the ones that come at night, but also predators that come from the sky. Hawks and owls and things like that, they'll also hunt your chickens. So especially hawks, especially bald eagles. We've had bald eagles and hawks attack our chickens during the day, and that's why we really like the area we're at, because it's heavily wooded. There are a lot of trees, and so the chickens can kind of sneak in and they have protection from just the natural environment that they're in. And we also keep the chicken coop open all day so they can run in there to get away from predators if anything ever happens. So if you're in a space that's like more of a field and you have wide open space, think about air predators and predators that are coming from the sky, because they definitely will attack your chickens. One of the things people do is if you have an enclosed chicken run, then you can put some chicken wire or mesh netting on top to protect from things swooping down and getting your chickens. Another thing is to basically just try and keep the chickens in a small enough space that they're not going far into the fields and get lost or get taken before you even see them. Another thing is to just use your natural environment. So if there's a few trees around, maybe you can get the chickens to free range in that area, just because that will help protect them from all the birds being able to just swoop down and get them. So just think about predator proofing, making the coop as safe as possible, because that's probably one of the most important things you want to think about. So this is our chicken coop. This is the design we went with. My cup is up there. The only thing we're missing right now is some of the metal, these shingles here that we have on the goat barn. We're gonna put some of that on the chicken coop as well. We haven't had time to do that yet, but we're gonna be doing the exact same thing to prevent the coop from, you know, accumulating too much water up there. And this is the design. It's a nice big door so we can get in. We can bring in a wheelbarrow when we need to clean it out. So think about that as well when you're designing the door. You want it to be big enough so that you can actually clean the chicken coop. You can bring a wheelbarrow, you can bring in your shovel and your rakes and things like that. I also have in here a roost for them right there. So we basically just built this out of wood that we have all around the property, so we didn't have to invest in too much. We just used a couple 2x4s and we screwed it in with some wood and some branches from the trees. Very, very simply. And then the nest boxes are there, and we hung up their food so that it prevents them from losing and stepping on it and just creating a huge mess. Most of the feed actually stays in the bucket that way, thank goodness. You can see they didn't even finish all the feed, and they're out free ranging, hanging out and enjoying their lives. And only a few of them are in there right now. Most of them choose to free range outside. So again, if they have enough space and enough room to free range and they can eat different things every day, you don't need to feed them buckets and buckets of feed every day. A few scoop and then you let them out and let them free range for the rest of the day. That's what we do here. So this coop here we used a few times when we had meat birds, but the only problem is that predators were able to crawl under here and they were able to get to the meat birds. That happened to us this last March, and it was a beautiful coop, but we were like, we can't use this, it's just not safe. So again, thinking about safety, predators digging underneath, coming from above, that's what you have to think about when you want a safe coop and to keep your birds safe. Here's one of my older hens, and I want to show you one that's a little bit younger. Let's see if I can find one. They're all hiding. We did have a pair of Americanas for quite a few years before they got too old and died. We incubated a few of their eggs, and so we have a couple of Americana crossed with barred rocks, and they are just absolutely beautiful. This one is a full-grown hen. See how nice and puffy she is? Hi, girl. So you can hear that little squeaky sound the chickens make. Some people call them dinosaur sounds, but that's just a squeaky noise that chickens make when they're kind of talking. Sometimes they'll make a very high-pitched squeak when right after they lay. That's kind of like them telling you, I've laid an egg, come and get it. Look what I did. So some people get kind of freaked out, like, why is my chicken making that high-pitched squeak? That's what it is. It's just their little dinosaur sounds. Just them telling you that they've laid an egg or trying to say hi to you. And we do have Muscovy ducks. Ducks make a great companion for chickens. They will put the chickens in their place, definitely. But I love having my ducks and my chickens together. Once they all start laying, they eat the same feed and they all hang out together, and they're just fast friends. So a question I got on one of our Facebook pages is, do I need supplemental lighting if I live in a really cold area? Some people live in very, very cold areas, much colder than here in southern Ontario. We get usually around -20 as like the coldest, but some people were in northern Alberta and they were asking, well, Salisha, what do I do with my chicken coop in the middle of winter when it's -50 Celsius? Well, the main thing you want to think about when you're building a chicken coop in the extreme cold is to build an insulated chicken coop. That's all you'd have to do. is either buy a chicken coop ready-made, like I said, or you build your own and you insulate it. So you can buy some insulation, and you would have to have that installed in the coop. For me, my chicken coop is not insulated at all. It's just, you know, just a chicken coop, because we don't get temperatures that are -50 where we'd have to worry about that. But definitely, if you're getting temperatures like that, you would want to have the coop insulated, just to make sure that, you know, no drafts and winds, and the chickens aren't you know, suffering too much cold. But again, chickens can handle the cold. You will not need any sort of heat lamp or external heating or anything like that, because they're good. They can handle it. Absolutely no problem. The only time you really have to worry about heating is when they're babies and they're chicks and they don't have their feathers and they're just not big enough to sustain their own heat. But once they're of age, you know, about 6 months old, the chickens are good enough. They're old enough. They have all their feathers, all their down, and they'll stay warm throughout the winter. So if you're getting really, really harsh temperatures and it is freezing for, you know, 5-6 months out of the year, -50 Celsius, I would think about having an insulated chicken coop, or just installing just some insulation on the inside. As for water, when it is cold and freezing, you're gonna have basically 2 options. So you can do a heated bucket like I have here. This one just plugs in, and then you fill it up as you need. Sorry guys, this video is not about you today. Maybe the next one, okay? All right. So you would have to have a heated bucket, because the chickens need fresh water every day. Right guys? So heated bucket would be preferred. If you can't afford this, because I know a heated bucket's like at least 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, depending on the size. They can be pretty pricey. Then, you know what? You can do it the poor man's way, which is just to bring water out every day for them. Hopefully you'd have running water near the chicken coop, or you could just run a hose to your coop, and you would have to manually fill it up every day. Now keep in mind, in the winter you probably can't fill it up using a hose, so you're gonna have to find some other way to bring the water to the animals, and make sure it's like warm water, because you don't want it to freeze in 5 minutes. So bring out a few buckets of warm water for them every single day. That's why I think it's worth it to just invest in the heated bucket. That way you're not having to manually bring and carry water to the chickens every day. Hey guys, look who's back. Isn't he majestic looking, just sitting up there? He owns the place. Acting like I don't even have a cat. So if you want any help finding any sort of chicken coop designs, let me know in the description below, and I can point you in the direction. I can even give you the measurements for my coop here, so let me know what you guys think. Okay guys, well I think that's it on chicken coops. If I missed anything major, let me know, and I'll address them for you guys in the comment section. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay peaceful. Bye.
I can't believe that it's only been a year and a half since we've moved to our new homestead. Jesse and I have done so much work on the property that it's practically unrecognizable. Even our neighbors are in awe of how much we've done in the short time we've been here. We've transformed the land and turned it into a beautiful, thriving homestead. We hope you come along to laugh, learn, and keep growing here on our hillside homestead.